Welcome to FM 1059 Canada Living Cantonese program. On the stage, we have our honorable guest, Mr. Patrick Brown, the Mayor of Brampton. Welcome. And then we also have our program host, Josephine Powell, and myself, Alec, is also a commentator. So Josephine, why don't we fly off the question to Patrick? Yeah.
First of all, a warm welcome to Mayor Brown. It's really just so special to have you, on our program. This is the first time we really introduce specifically about, the developments in Brampton. And congratulations. I have to say it twice. Congratulations again. Why? You are a big winner in the last provincial budget announcement. You gained a medical school as part of Ryerson's expansion in Brampton, and also you gained a brand new hospital. So tell us about it. We're so excited.
Well, it's a home run for the city of Brampton. Not only are we getting a new hospital, the old hospital was decommissioned in 2007 when they built Brampton Civic. And in the place of the old decommissioned hospital, they're building a brand new hospital with 250 beds, with an emergency department 24/7. And we really needed this because Brampton was ground zero for hallway medicine. And now we're also getting a medical school. Very rarely do you see med schools opened up in the province of Ontario. The last one was 15 years ago with the Northern School of Medicine. Very prestigious. To have a hospital and a med school, boy, is that a home run.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really nice. And right now, I know that you are still short of beds, right? Even the new one is open.
Yeah, we are desperately short. We have one of the lowest ratios of beds in the province. It's 0.96 beds per 1,000 in Brampton, and the provincial average is 2.16. So we have half the average of beds. So this hospital investment was desperately needed.
Right. And also good for, the cities nearby too, because William Osler actually has a hospital, like Etobicoke General, and also overflow always, go to Credit Valley, right, in Mississauga. So we're really happy that you got that new hospital, and no more, hopefully very soon you don't have, people, in the hallway for 1 week last year. Before the pandemic, I remember that story, so impressed me so much. So I'm really happy for our friends in Brampton. Now maybe let Alec talk about a little bit of transportation.
Josephine, can you hold on? Can you hold on 1 second?
Okay. Sure.
So I'm gonna head off with the economy question. As you know, the vaccination is coming along. And as much as we have some supply issue, but the federal government is aiming at the end of September, to finish all the vaccination. Whoever want to vaccinate by end of September, we shall have the injection already. So with that, a sort of like end of the tunnel. So how is Brampton? Or how do you perceive, it's going to happen with the reopening, by September or by the end of the year, or maybe beginning of the year? How do you envision, the economy or the business is going to be reopened in Brampton, and your city is, ready for that?
Well, I'm really frustrated by the vaccine rollout right now in Canada. We're the 55th country in the world in terms of vaccine supply. And I look right now in Canada, we're doing those over 70, but in the US, they're doing those over 30 right now. The federal government has really dropped the ball when it comes to vaccine supply and procurement. But as soon as they finally get vaccines, we'll be ready to reopen. Our businesses are thirsty to be reopened. They want to work. They want to be open. They want to have this lockdown over with. It's not just a health pandemic, it's an economic tidal wave. And, I'm really hoping that day comes soon when our businesses can open their doors again, because boy, it's been a tough year.
So whatever, come along, you just pace as it happens and make sure everybody's safe, and with the restart, and hopefully some of the local economy, some city does provide some funding. So, because it's also the complication with the variant right now.
Mhm.
So we don't know how, even though as much as we want to target September, I may not be as optimistic. Maybe, beginning of next year.
Well, if Canada finally gets vaccines, there's no issue. The reason the variant is spreading is because we don't have vaccines. If the government of Canada had done their job and got vaccines, then the variant wouldn't be spreading like it is right now. So it all goes back to the one issue.
Yeah,
we have a fire, and the vaccine is the fire extinguishers. As long as we get fire extinguishers, we're going to be okay. But
So-
it's like we had a fire department that didn't have any water.
So as long as the vaccine is done, like we'll just, return back to normal, remind everyone to be cautious, like hopefully it doesn't wait for too long. And then, we'll not need the CPR for the small business, right? So I think that's a happy path, but also, we'll see if it is the worst part, how do we deal with it? But in the city of Primerville, most of the city was saying that, once it's ready, we just proceed cautiously. That's what we can do. But on the other hand, I want to ask you another question. Is like, as you know, that like a lot of people, internationally, provincially or country-wise, we're competing with each other with the economy now, right? If you may happen. So we may have less, conflict within the GTA area, but we are also competing the resources. How do you envision it's going to happen with the local economy that you can drive? Given Brampton has a lot of warehouse, logistic type of business, and at the same time we are doing we with the COVID, the net new, everybody's doing innovation. And in Brampton, we have so many, ethnic group there in the IT technology. How do you envision, as a city, is going to pick up those, innovation project, perhaps open some, like New May in Ontario type of technology or sector that is, can forest the local business of Brampton?
So it is a global competition for jobs and investment. And I would say the delay in the vaccines is going to give us a disadvantage because other countries are open. Other countries are going to be able to have their economy restarted before Canada's is. And so that is a disadvantage. Having said that, we've got some incredible entrepreneurs. And I know once they're allowed to, they will show that Canadian entrepreneurial spirit again. But it's been a challenging year. In terms of the logistics sector, as you mentioned, that's one sector that's actually done well during the pandemic because of the shipment of goods. So the logistics companies in Brampton have actually grown over the last year. They haven't had any lockdowns. And so whether it's trucking companies that was bringing in food and medical supplies into the country, or companies like Amazon that does 40% of their volume in Canada from Brampton.
Yep, you have two warehouses in Brampton, maybe a third one coming along, who knows? We've got one of the state-of-the-art logistics center. So another thing I want to ask you, Queen Street, as far as I know, like it's more or less like a semi-downtown of Brampton. You guys are doing a lot of study on the west, and then also the precinct plan on the east. Without the light rail economy, now you're in the BRT. How do you envision that it's going to happen, in the next 10, 15 years to bring in the local business, bring in the local economy in there?
Yeah, so a few ideas on transportation. One, we are right now doing the study on the rapid bus transit on Queen Street. So rapid bus transit is going to be a reality very soon. The LRT phase 1 is already under construction, which takes it to Steele Street. And then we'll be looking at an LRT phase 2, which will take it into the downtown. I should note we're also electrifying our fleet right now. We've got the first pilot project in Canada of electrified buses. And we're looking at building our transit facility, our new transit facility, to be completely electrified. And so we hope to have the greenest transit system in Canada, an electrified transit system that will be ahead of its game.
So are you envisioning, like a more or less like a new generation type of downtown along the Queen Street? Like, like a lot of other cities are doing that right now?
Yeah, I think the rapid bus transit, the electric buses will be very modern. And downtown revitalization is going to be one. Transit will help us, but also the fact that we've got the Center for Innovation being built, Beehive, we've got the medical school that's going to go downtown. We've got 3 major residential developments happen in the downtown right now. The new hospital is only a stone's throw from the downtown. So there'll literally be billions of dollars spent in the downtown over the next number of years. And so the downtown is going to be a hot investment.
So it sounds like you're trying to build a medical city of the GTA area for the Brampton, right?
Well, I think there will be some medical technology companies associated with this, but we also have a lot of synergies in the downtown on cybersecurity. The National Center for Cybersecurity for Canada is also in downtown Brampton.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good to know. And then you can also, I hate to say that there's a lot of South Asian people living in Brampton, the South Asian effect with the technology. I'm sure they can bring in a lot.
Yeah, we have a
opportunity.
mosaic of the world in Brampton. We speak over 110 different languages. It's sort of the United Nations right in Brampton.
Exactly. Yeah, you can, glue the world, just from the Brampton, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. So with that, like I think the economy, one of the main thing, it's about the highway and the transportation. Why don't we go to Josephine to pose those questions?
Okay, good. Thank you. Mayor Brown, do you play cricket?
I love every sport. My passions are hockey and tennis, but I've been a big supporter of the growth of cricket in Brampton because the sport is just so popular, and we're proud to host the GT20, which is the largest cricket tournament in North America, in Brampton each summer.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
good.
Okay, yeah,
That could be
that's good.
something, for the summer, a game, an international game. The other, I like talk a little bit about transportation already. Transportation is always, a critical issue for investment, for the local residents, right? And given the change of the working from home, even though right now the supply is maybe, unsteady a little bit, but when we build infrastructure, I assume, you plan for 10 years down the road, right? And Brampton's growth is taper a little bit now, but still your current population is at 635,000 now. It's expected in 10 years' time, your population will grow to 727,000. So a pure growth of 90,000 people. So
Well, actually, the latest population figures that came in now have Brampton already at 700,000.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
that's
700,000 already.
Yeah.
You have to catch up fast, and right now, we know that the GO train, you build a new GO station, and they actually tie into economic as well. The Beverly, GO station, and it comes with a lot of good amenities. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it before we move on to the other part of transportation?
Yeah, so the provincial government has recently announced two-way, all-way GO for Brampton, long sought after. We've got very busy GO stations at Bramalea, downtown Brampton, and Mount Pleasant. And so the GO ridership is very popular, and it's just another example of public transit that's available to Brampton residents.
Right. That's really nice. And, I don't know this, with the uncertainty about, about the West GTA corridor, right? Whether it will cut through your beautiful project at, Heritage Place.
Heritage.
Yeah, it's so beautiful when I come across the visual concept. A month ago, I was so impressed, okay? It's not the really traditional building, but it's really tying everything. You are building capacity for residential, capacity for commercial, and capacity for recreation and leisure. It's beautiful. Now, do you still really want that Highway 413 cutting through, or you just really prefer a wide open boulevard?
Yeah, so the city of Brampton has put forward a proposal for an urban boulevard, which allows cars to go, and it makes you don't want to have too much traffic. But an urban boulevard, we believe, is a compromised position. So it's not a mega highway through the city. You can have a traditional highway outside the city, but as it goes through the city, it's an urban boulevard, more the European style of highway integration with urban areas.
Right, that's really nice. With the other plans you talk about, I'm sure, like the everything grew together will give you a very, very nice downtown and the development, right? So, yeah. So maybe I'll turn it over to Alec talk about housing.
Yep. So in terms of the housing, like I think, the GTA area, we have been, like a sort of envision the housing price surging about 13.5% in the GTA area. Brampton is also following the same pathway, along the line. So even though like Brampton is slightly, like a lower price compared to the other, but it's catching up, quite a bit with 1.1 million for an average house, and then 700,000 for condominium. But the townhouse is cheaper. How does that work? Like the condo in Brampton is more expensive than the townhouse. Do you know what's going on? Is it the Airbnb going there?
So the real estate market's really hot in Brampton, as it is across the GTA. This year, Brampton led all municipalities in the GTA with the highest increase, 30% year over year. So it's a great investment. People recognize Brampton is growing, lots of good things happening in Brampton, and there's more people wanting to buy houses than there's houses available. There's more people wanting to buy townhouses than there's townhouses available. There's more people wanting to build condos than there's condos available. And so I would say if you want to get into the market in Brampton, it's a smart decision.
Yes. So but I can contemplate, condo is more expensive than the townhouse. That's something, so unparalleled.
Well, I think it varies on the size and location.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe it's a bigger size of condo and there's not too much condo there. And so they just basically live up the price, right? I think that's the thing. But I also noticed that you guys are doing a bylaw review on the short-term accommodation, right? Is that something related to
which accommodation?
The short-term accommodation, short-term accommodation, like an Airbnb?
Yes. Yeah. We're looking at banning Airbnb for people that want to rent it just for a night. We don't need to have any wild parties and people rent a house for a house party. If you want to rent Airbnb for a longer period, that's fine. But, we're not interested in one-night rentals.
Yeah. Now come upon, with a more important question on the housing, right? As you know, like GTA area, the house price has been skyrocketed. Brampton is also in the hit list, right? So by and large, all this house price is going in the upward direction because the interest rate is so low. So and then there's movement in the real estate market. That's why a lot of young people want to take this opportunity to get into the market as well. So with that, driving up the house price, the affordability, which is the other side of the equation, without this secondary suite and also the inclusionary zoning, how do you see, Brampton, city of Brampton, is accommodating the affordability of the housing?
So we are building, we got a major ambitious affordable housing plan, $1 billion plan out of Peel Region to build more affordable housing in Peel Region for people who are struggling with homelessness and inability to get into lodging. Having said that, any politician who tells you they're going to stop house prices from escalating are lying. The reality is there's a broader market forces that have an effect in housing prices, interest rates, market demand, and that's not something we're going to be able to influence on a local level. Interest rates are set by the Bank of Canada and the Government of Canada, and we don't have any influence into that. And in terms of the market demand, as long as hundreds of thousands of new Canadians come into the GTA every year, as long as there's a reproduction rate where the population continues to grow, there's going to be market pressures on housing. And right now there is more demand than there is supply, and that creates an inflationary reaction.
So Brampton is like a sort of committing to the Peel Region, the affordable housing plan. But are you guys going to put in the inclusionary zoning for the developer, whoever built high density to have 5%,
yeah, so
10%?
Inclusionary zoning was something that was removed by the new government at Queen's Park. It was something that was going to be mandated by the previous government, but that got removed.
Okay, so you guys are not planning for the inclusionary zoning?
No, that's something that the provincial government took away. So it's something that that
Just
previously
recently,
they-
right? I
recently.
suppose it was just recently.
Yeah,
Okay,
recently.
okay. Yeah. So anyway, I have one more question on the transportation. So with the work from home, like quite popular these days, I don't know whether there's a new paradigm for people to work in Toronto. I know Brampton is like, a lot of people going downtown. Yeah, relatively, like you only have 70,000 job. So, but you have almost 700,000 people. So a lot of people working downtown or working somewhere else. Do you see, because of the work from home strategy or work from home paradigm, do you see there's a decrease in the traffic, at the peak hour? Because we are seeing other region or other cities are mentioning that.
Yeah, we are seeing the GO Transit ridership numbers, the traffic volumes on the 401 and the QW and the 407, they are down during COVID. The question is, will it return as COVID leaves us? I don't know whether there's going to be some lasting changes to the place of work. But yeah, no, there's noticeable differences right now in traffic volumes and train ridership.
Yeah, the work-life balance, is sort of, propagate in the GTA area is a result of COVID. There will be definitely some reduction. So some of the region is looking into the fact that they may do a measure, after the COVID, to see how the traffic is affected and then, deal with according. I'm sure those type of thing, is probably in the city planners' mind, is going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So without further ado, Josephine, do you still have more question, or Patrick, do you have anything?
Well, you know what, there's still, concern. I'm a little bit, different from Alec, because I always go out at 10 o'clock in the morning, for my appointments, and I saw truck after truck line up all on 401. So I thought, oh, that is actually an optimum, reach optimum capacity of our highway already. So I always push to have infrastructure start now to prepare for influx of new immigrants and development, for a few years down the road. The other thing is, I'm not sure whether you are concerned a little bit. More than 30% of Brantonians, they actually spend more than 30% of their income on housing. So maybe they rent it. Still, like the median price is so high, right? And you have a high ownership, but still, like the median, maintenance, right, is close to almost like $1,900 a month for a homeowner, and for renting, the lowest is really like $1,200, and that's a very old figure. So that's the thing I would ask you, would you like have anything prepared in advance, any plan?
So I would say the cost of housing is not something that we'll be able to influence municipally. It is, I'm surprised it's not higher than 30% of people's paychecks based on what I'm hearing. I think it could actually be a lot higher, but it's not something we can influence municipally. It is, the housing inflationary tendencies in the housing market and interest rates are beyond a municipal scope, but I do recognize that it's increasingly a challenge for people to enter the market.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more question for me. So
one more question, then I've got to go to a 4:30 call. I got another web.
Yeah, I know. The GTA West, is that a done deal? Like, it's not going to go for the heritage?
Ultimately, it'll be up to the provincial government. Brampton has put forward a compromise solution, which is an urban boulevard, and we're hopeful that the province will accept our compromise proposal. So
it's still on the table, which is good. So hopefully you will bring us more good news, with the development in the Brampton area. And today we thank you for your time, and hope to see you again in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And when this goes on air, let me know and I'll share it.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.